So let me talk to the young musicians. I want to talk to the young musicians. Sub 30. You're sub 30. You're somewhere between 20 and 30 years old, maybe a little bit less. Maybe you're a teenager right now. You're watching this video. Young musician, dear young musician. For you, this is the time of your life where you have the most time, the most energy, the most time to build in your 20s, your teens and your 20s. This is mainly your 20s. I want to talk to mainly the 20-year-olds in that vein or whatever. This is your time to build. You know what I'm saying? Um, you don't want to get to your 30s and all of a sudden you're trying to hit the fast forward button to get the stuff you didn't get in your 20s. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be like hitting the fast forward button all of a sudden, like, yeah, I should have, I need to get married. I need to get a house. I need to get my stuff together. No, you're in your 20s right now. And this is one of the reasons why like OGs get upset with the young G's, because it's like you are someone that has the benefit of time and energy that they no longer have. That's one of the reasons that there's so much tension between the OGs and the young G's, because you have the time to learn your instrument, to learn how to play in all your keys, to learn how to, rip these scales and do all of these things like that. You in your 20s have the most energy, the most time that you will ever have in your life. You know what I'm saying? You have the most viability at this point in your life, the most viable. This is the time to eat. This is the time to go after it. You know what I'm saying? This is the time to do it. So that's why they get so upset, because it's like, bro, like as OGs, we got mortgage, car note, wife, kids in college, you know, all of this stuff. And you got nothing but time, and we got nothing but responsibility. And so that's why you find this tension a lot of times between them. So again, this is the time for you to build. And let me speak about what I mean when I say it's time to build. This is the time for you to build your influence, your audience, your revenue. Don't just shed on chords and licks and chops and all of that stuff. You should be shedding on business, marketing, investing, setting yourself up for the next era of your life, setting yourself up for your 30s. Again, you want to think of your life in decades and not days. You know what I'm saying? So in your 20s, set yourself up for your 30s. If you're 22, 23, 24, you need to be working right now for 30. So shed on those things. Shed, learn your stuff, learn your instrument, learn how to play in all your keys, yes, because you got time. But also learn the other intangible things that's going to make your life easier when you get in your 30s. Because I was able to look at my life in decades and not in days. When I got to my 30s, everything that I did in my 20s set me up for my 30s. And everything that I did in my 30s set me up for my 40s. And now everything that I'm doing in my 40s is setting me up now for my 50s. You know what I'm saying? And so, but here's the key I want to give you guys. Build, but build slowly. I know that sounds crazy, right? Because you have time. You don't have responsibility, same responsibilities that we have. You don't have a kid in college. Maybe you got a kid, they're a toddler, but you don't have a kid that's in college. Trust me, they are not the same, because I've had both. I pray that my baby girl was a toddler right now instead of in college. Lord have mercy. But build slowly. Take your time. Don't rush through it, because not only is this the most vibrant time of your life, but it's also the best time of your life. This is your time where you build all of your experiences, where you get to know the world, you get to know the people, all of those things like that. You know what I'm saying? So take your time in your 20s and build slowly, and take your time, build methodically, build intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Again, what are we building? We're building an audience. We're building revenue. We're building influence. That's what you're building. That's what you need to be working on in your 20s. Work on building those things. Now, here's the next thing, the next key, the big key that you want to build. Build your network. If you don't build anything else, build your network. Your network determines your net worth. I'll say that again. Your net work determines your net worth. All right. Because in my 20s, and I'm pretty sure you feeling the same way, my 20s and all of that, I was trying to chase the circle, right? Trying to get in the circle, trying to get in here with this, trying to get on with that, trying to get put on, trying to get, recognized by this person, trying to get this people to know my name, trying to get these people to hire me, trying to get in this clique of musicians, trying to get in this people and all of those things like that. Trying to lock in on all of those things like that. You know what I'm saying? And what I realized is that it was futile because the definition of a circle is a closed line. It's closed. If it's a circle, you can't get in there. It's closed already. You can't get it's already circled. So unless whoever owns the circle decides to let you in the circle, like to break it and make room for you, the circle is closed. So what you have to do is build your own circle. Build your own circle. Now, your homies, your friends, the people that you're locked in with, build the circle. You know what I'm saying? Build the circle. Get with them, build relationships with them because that's, what happened? The people that have the circle, you know what they did? They did that. They built the circle. They got their friends, their homies, their constituents, the people that they knew that they could work with, the people that they knew that could get the job done. And when the opportunities came, they had the circle locked. They didn't have to worry about who they was going to call for bass or who they was going to call for drums or who they was going to call to engineer it or mix it or who they was going to call to master it or who they was going to call to get it on radio or who they was going to call to do the live show, to be in the live band because they built the circle. So in your 20s, build the circle. Build your network because that's what I did in my 20s. I learned real quickly that I couldn't get in the circle, and when I learned that I couldn't get in the circle, I started building my own circle. That was the biggest benefit that changed my entire life when I stopped trying to chase being in other people's circle and started building my own circle. And I coined a phrase, if not for anybody, just for myself. I say it all the time to all my friends, everybody. I tell them all the time, I'm hungry, but I'm not thirsty. Hungry, but I'm not thirsty. You'll never catch me trying to be thirsty, trying to chase after anybody anymore. I haven't done that in a long time because I figured out real quickly, people work with whoever they want to work with. They make time for who they want to make time for. You know what I'm saying? So if you're reaching out to them, you texting them, you doing all this stuff and they're not responding to you, best to believe if they wife text them, they get an instant answer. If they homeboy text them, instantaneous answer. As soon as the text comes in, they get an immediate response from that person, but they will ignore you all day because you're not in the circle. So go build your own circle, grind it out for the next 10 years of your life. You know what I'm saying? Build it out. Now, I'll give you like one more little optional thing is relationships, because this is where it gets kind of important for me. And I put this in the optional thing because you have to decide about getting married, but I in doing all of those things, having relationships with people, having kids, and all of those things that come along with it. But I suggest if you're going to get married and you find the right person, do it early. Do it early. If you're going to get married, do it early. Do it as soon as you can, because it allows you to build together with someone. And I cannot stress the value that my wife has brought to my life. I would not be where I am if it was not for two people, the Lord and my wife. So if you find the right person, do it early because you get to build together. You get to struggle together. You get to go through all of those phases of life together. Me and my wife have been married for 20 years. We've been together for 23. There is not a thing apart from death, just about, that we have not been through together. I mean, one of us dying, and it's going to be death do us part. But we have the value of building together, the value of having those things. And it helped to protect me as a young man, because I got married. I wasn't out playing in the field. I wasn't out tricking out, you know what I'm saying, in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? And then because we had children, I learned how to be responsible for someone other than myself really early. You know what I'm saying? I learned that. And that became my why. My children, my wife, that became my why. And that is the biggest key, whether you realize it or not, the biggest key to having a sustainable career in music is not the what, it's not the how, it's the why. Because the why will keep you going when the what isn't whatting and the how isn't howing and the when isn't coming and all those other questions. You have to have a strong why. And so my family became my why. And so, young musician, 20-year-old, maybe even you're a teenager, start building. Start building now. Think about your life in decades and not days. Start thinking about what 30 looks like. Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy, John Mike. If you've been rocking with my content and you want to go beyond what YouTube allows, what social media allows, that's exactly why I created my Patreon. Over there, I break down the real side of music tech, business, how this industry actually works, the creative side. I'm talking exclusive podcasts with your favorite creators. And there's 3 ways that you can join. There's a support tier that starts at just $5 a month. That's for people who just want to support my work and get early access to the content that I create. The Creator Plus tier goes deeper into the tools, the workflows, the plugins, everything that I use to create and scale out my content. And then there's the Business Plus tier. This is where we talk strategy, monetization, ownership, all of the things that I do to make money, how I scaled a 7-figure company, how you can do it too, asking questions, all of the crazy things that you want to know about how to build a sustainable, real career in music. So if you're really ready to take this to the next level and grow your creative business this year, then please join me over there at Patreon. The link is down below. I'll talk to you guys over there. Let's get it.